How many of you are involved in any portion of the emergency response at any of the facilities that you work at? Fire, EMS, fire, medical, okay. Promoters and sanctioning bodies, anybody? Okay. Is that, I just wanted to kind of survey. So a lot of what the focus has been, I just met Brian an hour ago, is that I'm the chairman of the NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association's Motorsports and Safety document. Is that, and we're going to go through a little bit of helping you. What I'm going to urge more than anything else, if you're a racer, if you're a purebred racer, is that when you come through the back gate and you sign your life away, although I'm married to an attorney, I want you to never believe that's true, is that do you look for a fire truck or an ambulance? Do you actually take a look? I know your primary goal is to race and possibly win, but do you look at any of the emergency services that are at the facilities and all the different facilities you go to? Okay, go to ICMS, right there, and go right there. And start the slideshow. Go up to slideshow. Right there. It should say from the beginning.
Click it again. Should have a drop down. There it is now from the beginning of the way up all the way right there.
There you go. All right. Oh, great, great, thank you. So this is, anybody in the contracting business, build homes, anything? All right. Where has your experience with the National Fire Protection Association come in the past?
Fire door inspections, sprinkler systems, trips, alarms,
National Electric Code, right? Things of this nature.
Yes.
So what the hell is the NFPA doing in my race business? That's the first question I always get, and where this document came about, is that in Marion County, Florida, in the 1990s, the code enforcement official found the fuel tanks underneath the grandstands, and he actually couldn't find the facility because he couldn't find a code, and that's where the petitioning began over almost 30 years ago. Is that, and that's where that comes from. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Every 5 years, the NFPA and the group, and I'll explain the committee here in a couple minutes, is that puts out a document for assisting in the safe operations of emergency services at a racing facility. Here's an example of 5 years ago and 10 years ago, what that looks like. What the hell am I doing here? I just completed my 35th Indy 500. I've worked on track as an extrication guy in every form of motorsports, F1, all right, on down, and have got dirt in my beer at a Saturday night bull ring also. I know a lot of times people go like, oh, well, you guys at Indy, you've got more money than God. We have Roger Penske's money, so we have God's money, all right? But it is that it's about scalability to help you no matter what. But the truth is my real job is I'm the chief of special operations in Knox County, Knoxville. I've got 40 fire stations that I'm running every day throughout Knox County. I drove over. This is the first time I've gone on the other side of 40. Is that I've spent a whole lot of time in the 16 Tennessee counties that were affected by the hurricane, but I didn't come over to the North Carolina side. So I literally drove 45 minutes north to drive 45 minutes south for the 4 miles I couldn't cross to get here. The devastation, though, is just as much on the North Carolina side as it was on the Tennessee side. But that's, what I'm doing every day. This is the team that I'm on. What happens, but it is not uncommon. Young lady, can I pick on you, but actually just highlight you? Where do you work? Volusia in Florida. Okay. Volusia's been around a little while. What is the staffing like on a normal event? One fire truck, two?
Yeah, so we have a fire truck with 2 firefighters and then a paramedic and me. I'm a physician.
Okay, a paramedic.
And then we have an ambulance that Volusia owns that has another paramedic in it. And
Great.
the paramedic and me ride in like a side-by-side.
Okay. How many of you guys actually take a look at the ambulance at the facility you race in? The chair guy, I mean the seatbelter guy is going like nobody looks, right? You do, good. All right. First thing I want to tell you in comparison, because people are going to tell me, well, who's going to pay for that? Do you know that anywhere in the United States that Pop Warner football requires a paramedic? Okay, plain and simple. Okay, parents win. Where's the guy that was, oh, the hockey guy left, all right, is that, so the whole kind of finality of saying there's no money for emergency services at the Saturday night bull ring is BS, okay? And where it's BS more than anything is that you're going to find out the first time you have a real incident, all right, where the legalese comes from. NFPA is the guidelines that goes right forward to OSHA, is that, and if you have never had a discussion with ownership at a track, for example, is what to do if there's a death on the property. That's a horrible thing to think about. I know that, all right? But if you're in racing, and if you've been in racing for any amount of time, is you've been around a facility and have seen something serious happen, all right? Is Volusia in Volusia County? What county is it in?
It's in DeLand.
Okay. All right. So the medical examiner or the coroner, are you allowed to move the body? That's a good question, isn't it? Oh, look, guy's shaking his head back there.
I doubt it.
Okay. How do they get around it then? Do you know? Have you ever heard the description, no one ever dies at the track? I will tell you, all right, I'm not speaking out of term, is that no one ever died at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Where do they die? Excuse me, racer, I need to be corrective. All right? They die at Methodist Hospital. We transport them, all right? Now, emergency services, and the reason I put that asterisk on there is 3 times in the last 10 years we've had deaths on the facility, all right, that were actually CO2 deaths in RVs overnight. All right, just get found in the next morning. Is that, are you allowed to move the body? Okay. So these are some of the emergency services things that I know generally a racer might not, 100%, and I'm going to come back to the fire trucks and the EMS in a second, but is that they're required by law, and the law is going to be looking for you, all right, for your involvement. So where this comes from, where NFPA 610, all right, is scalability. This is my favorite speedway, all right, because they have a great logo on the side of their safety trucks. Dog Hollow is in PA. It's a Saturday night bull ring, all right. Its average crowd is about 400, all right. It's a fun place to go to, all right. If you're a fan, what are you looking for? Dirt in your beer, right? The scalability of my team to their team, all right, has been thought about. And where I want to, put you into place is that my friend here, right here, how long you been racing? 40, 4-0, right? Okay. Is that, do you remember the first time you saw the safer barrier at Indy? Okay. Not exactly, but but I mean on TVs.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
No, I don't remember the first time.
All right, but you went, wow, that's going to save some lives. What's going on in the state of North Carolina right now, literally today, that's shocking about the safer barrier? Anybody know? They're putting the safer barrier in at Bowman Gray for the All-Star race. I don't know exactly the size, but I know it's much smaller than a 1 mile, right? Is that affordability and in regards to safety. Is there anybody here racing today not wearing a Hans or a hybrid? Over the past 20 years, cost, all right, R&D is that we've proven where things go, is that the trickle-down effect. So yes, there's been rules and regulations for more than 30 years, but they're moving towards, okay, affordability, Saturday night bull rings, and how a simple 2-man fire truck crew and a 2-man ambulance crew, all right, can actually prepare and be very good at their job. The guy that was on earlier that talked about how drivers get burned, all right, is that the second way is how about we put out the fire? All right, how about we put out the fire? So, you know, safer barrier moves forward. I want to just show you a little bit internally is that, you know, what the hell is the guy from Indy talking about? Here's an example, all right? Chapter 5 is on training. Is that what are the expectations from the guy in the flag stand to the guy at the back gate to the 2 guys on the fire truck to the 2, and I shouldn't say guys, 2 people, 2 staffers, to the people in EMS? Is that here's scalability, all right? Is that from awareness to operations to technician to specialist, how much training you should have. State of North Carolina has a fire academy level program for emergency services responders, all right? So where do I get my guys trained? Cross-referencing that, all right? The other is PPE. So a lot of guys are going to say well, you know, the track I race at, the guys are wearing their fire gear from the fire department. Not unusual at all. One of the things that NFPA did, and his name, Brad, talked about TPP. TPP is a thermal test, and it came not originally to the fire suit guys. It came from fire gear, all right? There's been a cross-reference to what kind of gear is needed, and the truth is that, you know, to equal an FR, all right, a 3.2.5/5 is that you can wear wildland gear, all right? So there's an equivalency, all right? So the Saturday night bull ring, you know, that is not going to go out and buy fancy suits with embroidery on it, like I get to wear, is that, but there's fire gear, and what we're asking is that I really would like you to not be in a pair of Carhartts, okay, with an LL Bean Woolrich, okay, you know, shirt on, is that how about we think about it a little bit? How about we think about it a little bit, is that those comparisons and what will insulate you, and as I said before, and I'll repeat, is that, you know, you're not going to find out how much trouble you're going to be in until the day after. All right, unless you do some pre-planning, all right? And pre-planning doesn't necessarily cost money. Pre-planning is guidance. These documents are out there for you to take a look at, and I'll go to the next one. Here's an example of what's in the book. Is that I'm going to show you a series of these. Is that these are checklist and guideline sheets for you to prepare ahead of time with scalability. You can see here column 1, column 2, column 3 is that the size of your track, the size of your audience, the speed, okay, that the races are going on. Do you have a set of jaws of life there? All right. Is that do you have a paramedic on board? If the track's more than a mile, maybe you should have 2 fire trucks. Is that scalability, all right, and affordability to the ownership, to the promoters and the sanctioning bodies is in, okay, these simple checklists. You can see check marks and boxes, all right? They're great questions to ask ahead of time to what's going on. Emergency action plan. It can be as simple as this. How many of you, all right, at some point in your life have been to Disney? All right, you've been to Disney. What did they do when you pulled in the parking lot to help you out? All right? They made you remember where you parked because, well, there's a hell of a lot of cars parking there. And how did they do that? Well, they got you to think of some character, whether you were in Mickey 23, okay, or Daffy 69, is that, so when you came back out 12 hours later, you went, oh, I remember where we parked. is that same thing, all right? If I go to Volusia County, how big and how many parking lots are there? I'm picking on you, but just one big parking lot. But if a guy's having chest pains in a blue Ford Taurus and you dialed 911, is it possible that I can have somebody there in the area pretty quickly but have trouble finding it? Directions. If you would actually just take the light poles, all right, and let's appeal to motorsports fans, and you're in Allison 27 or Petty 3 or Earnhardt 5, all right, to some markings, would we be able to find the guy having chest pains in the Taurus a little faster? All right, just some simple guidance, all right? Hell, sell the signs off, okay? Let Waste Management put them up, all right? Or anybody else that's sponsorship at your track, Serve Pro, all right? There's a variety of people at different places that buy sponsorship. Let them print the signs, all right? But help you out for your emergency services, all right? To put things together. Again, these are right off of the emergency action plans. The next one. We never had bad weather come up on a racetrack at night, have we? Happens all the time, all right? What's the actual promoter got to worry about? Geez, if I send them back out the gate for the protection of their car, will they come back in when it passes over a half hour later? Okay, is that a pre-prepared announcement that says exactly, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, please go to your cars for safety, is that we'll make a decision within 20 minutes of whether we're going to open back up or close, and your ticket is good next week if you want to go home. Put it in the announcer's box, all right, that you have a plan. Seek shelter. These are the National Weather Service has a planning mechanism that will actually pay for these things, all right? Do you have radar and lightning, okay, in the press box? Just some things. Again, I know that your general audience is about building cars and racing, but is that these are some things that we want people to think about. All right, that planning ahead can work for you. What do I need on my fire truck? What kind of things should I prepare for? Is that, again, a checklist that somebody's done for you that is OSHA compliant, all right, to you figuring out what's going on, all right? Anybody have any questions? All right. The next thing I want to talk to you a little bit about is what's coming down the pike, is that racers would never do anything to go faster, would they? Huh? The evolution of the battery power is coming. And what's phenomenal, and I'm going to show you a video here in a second of why it's really gotten closer than you think. I know that generally, if I said something to you about a hybrid race car, you might first think about this, okay? IMSA's EV hybrid, okay? The Penske Porsche, really nice car, great championship last year. But this is what you probably haven't thought about. Now, I'm going to see if this is going to work. Can you tap on the video? Oh, there we go. Great. That's an NHR Junior Dragster, okay, with a lithium-ion battery in it, all right? That was a car invented for a less than 16-year-old. They're allowed to race up to 18 years old. I don't know if anybody's got any experience, but you guys are mechanical guys. That is rocket fuel. There's no PPE in the world for you to withstand dealing with that. None. Okay? Not an aircraft fire rescue suit. This is that, do you have a plan? That melted the frame in 37 seconds at an 1/8 mile little track. Go ahead and tap on the second video. You could have all the water you want. You might cool it, all right? But thermal runaway in an EV battery, all right, is only going to be buried into the ground, all right? The owner actually took their excavator, and that's exactly what he did. Thank God the car came off their escape road and wasn't right on track, because it'll melt the asphalt. I did not know, and I mean, I can get around a lot of motorsports. I'm lucky enough to have been in the industry quite a while. Is that we were looking at junior dragsters with EV lithium-ion batteries in them already in the year 2024. So funded. Through a grant to the is that we're commissioning in a new research group, 32 people from all the sanctioning bodies, the manufacturers, Tesla on down, all right, are a research group for what we're going to be doing, all right, for EV fires and emergency services. Key thing is going to be the construction of the car. This is what IMSA did, is that we won't see thermal runaway if we don't have a battery box that's been destroyed, all right? But batteries, integrity is, we don't know. We never thought that we'd see a G-force hit over 100 Gs, and we've seen it several times. So those things are coming about. That's what's next. I will tell you, the uniqueness of coming here and finding Brian is that the national gathering, what is traditionally every year, is called the Safety Summit. It used to be at Concord, but now it's moving to Daytona. Actually, I'm headed there Saturday, depending on the snow. But the first gathering of the professionals that are going to be looking at research for electric vehicles, hybrid, battery-powered things, kicks off on Wednesday. So there's people doing national research, government-funded research. Yes, there's rules. Yes, you can get in trouble, but there's help available, all right, to emergency responders at racetracks. There's several organizations out there that can help with what's going on. There's scalability to the smallest place. You can see, from like the turnout gear, the comparison to the Saturday night dirt track to just your local level fire department is to how you can get things figured out. But I'm going to go back to my original thing, and that is on Saturday night when you pull in the back gates, all right, and you take a look, take a look at the emergency setups at a track, ask a few questions, all right, and start to check things out a little bit. Are they really prepared? A van with red lights, okay, with a red cross on it doesn't mean, okay, that they're ready, all right? A lot of facilities have bought old used ambulances, an old fire truck, all right? They're probably wetting the clay down, so the racing surface is good, versus are they prepared to put out a fire? Is take a look at your emergency services organization, what's going on there, not as a critic, all right, trying to help them. There's lots of help with a variety of different organizations around the country. Is that I don't know how to make your car go faster. I will tell you that. And I've seen some pretty fast stuff, okay, at 16th and Georgetown in my lifetime. But what I have seen is I've worked in every scenario I think that comes about. Is that, and more than anything, is we want to help the smaller places, because statistically, all right, that's where the deaths are coming from. Is a lot of times to how things happen is that we see horrible ESPN videos about fires and 20 guys running up with fire extinguishers wearing flip-flops and shorts and things of that nature. Is we want to make the business a little bit better for race car drivers, the teams, all right, and the facilities. So that's my presentation. I hope that helped a little bit. Is that I'd be happy to field any questions that anybody has. There's should be one right there. You can scan that QR code, get my email address. I love to hear about things that are going on. I'll be happy to help you out, send you copies of those forms. They're free, not a problem. Whatever we can do to help out, I'd be happy to do so.
Well, you just answered my question. I was looking at the 610 guides, and on the NFPA website, they're charging like $200 for the entire guidebook.
I think 157.
157, yeah.
It's not cheap.
And then they've got, then you got a subscription model out there too. I just want to make the public aware for that. You don't have to necessarily buy the entire book. You can subscribe and look at it, get the information you need, and then go back. But the book itself, you're talking, you said it yourself, statistically speaking, the most of the racetracks where you see the most likelihood of incident are the small mom and pop operations. Being the race community as it is, I mean, we coordinate with Brian or something to maybe get them that information, either in a digital format or something, to try to help facilitate them, because they're not going to seek out this information, and that's a reality of just, the type of ownership that happens in these smaller.
Well, I'll agree with you that it's very difficult to get people to seek out the information. It's why I drove 4 hours over and 4 hours back to be up here for 20 minutes. All right, is that we're trying to spread the gospel. In reference to the document, going back is that there's SFI, for example, all right, has representation on the board. You can get a copy if you're a member of SFI. All right, we talked about probably in the area, not quite 100, but I'm going to say in the 80s of sanctioning bodies that are participants. So there's a way to get a copy. The 157 you saw, okay, that if you're an electrical contractor, you're supposed to buy to be compliant this year to building a new house and not putting in aluminum wiring. There's ways for you to get that stuff. Yes.
Yeah, if you've got any, since we're going to put this online,
Yeah.
if you want to send me some of these documents,
Uh-huh.
that may be a way. If we got tracks or somebody that watches this video, they'll be able to,
Yeah.
click on the link or document or whatever's available. So you can email me that, and then once we upload everything,
Right.
we'll make that available for anybody who wants to look at it.
The other thing is that, no matter where you are, there's going to be a code enforcement official, the straight out fire department, all right? Every fire department in North America, all right, is going to be functioning under an NFPA subscription, all right? There's available resources to get a copy without spending your own money.
Is there copyright issues with the document?
There is some copyright there. I've never heard of them going after anybody, but I mean, there's copyright on the front cover. Is that it's finding a way, all right, to get through the bollards.
Understood.
Anybody else?
I'm sorry, Patrick, you said that you can get a free copy if you're a SFI member?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? Well, I appreciate the time.
Patrick,
okay.
thank you for coming. Appreciate you.
I know it's not the most exciting and sexy thing to talk about fire extinguishers and bandages, but is that I want racers, in particular, to think about coming through the back gate. All right, is that on what the places that look like is that, and then from a promoter standpoint, my Pop Warner statement is the thing I find most interesting. Is I'm really not interested in a race car owner who charges admission to his facility. No, it's not race car owner, racetrack owner, saying who's going to pay for an ambulance to be here. Is that it's 2025. We've got to figure that part out. All right, great. Thanks.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Appreciate it, Pat. We'll be in touch.
Just close that out. Okay.
We're kind of jumped around a little bit. Neil, do you want to go ahead and so you can go back out there?
Yeah, I do have to set up pretty quick here, but I feel like people need afraid to stand up and probably use their application.
Yeah.
If you don't, we can push forward.
Y'all want to
5 minutes or?
y'all want to go 5 minutes?
It's about a fire.